Hi everyone, welcome back to the Korg PA Style Creation Workshop series. This is the third video in the series. In the first video, we covered the style structure and the style creation mode interface details. And in the second video, we started creating a new style. So in this video, we will continue working on the same style and we'll create a fill, ending and a small counting pattern for the same style. Let's create the fill now. For that, we'll copy the pattern from variation 1 to fill 1. Go to the style edit page and select the style copy. Select the source element and select the destination. Here you will not be able to select fill 1. This is because you cannot copy the entire variation 1 to a fill. The number of code variations in the variation and fill are different. Variation 1 to 4 can have 6 code variations in it, but the fills will have only 2. So to copy the variation 1 to fill 1, you can copy the code variations. For that, select the source as v1 cv1, which means the code variation 1 of variation 1. And the destination should be f1 cv1, which is code variation of fill 1. Select all tracks and press execute. Since we have only one code variation in each element, only that code variation needs to be copied. Now go to fill 1. The pattern is copied here. We will add something to the drum track. This is a pattern we need to record. Since it is a high-speed drum roll pattern, it may not be easy to record it. I'll show you 4 different ways to create this pattern. First is a straightforward option, which is playing the notes directly. This will not be easy. It may require multiple takes and trial and errors. We'll try it now. For that, I'm setting the resolution to high to cancel the auto context. That didn't come out well, so undoing it. This time it is somewhat okay, but the last snare note I added is not in the proper timing. We can remove it. I'll use the delete note feature to remove that note. For that, keep the delete note icon pressed while the record is going on and press the snare key when the note plays in the pattern. We don't want to delete the first snare notes, so I'm pressing the key only when the last snare plays. Now that note is gone. We'll add the rest of the notes to the track. I'm changing the resolution back to a 16th note now. Now the pattern is ready. That is the first method. Now I'll show you the next method, which is more easy. For that, I'm deleting all the snare notes except the one on the second beat. You can also delete the notes by going to the event edit page. Now the snare notes are deleted. I will add the last part of the pattern. We'll do just a snare roll with the new method. Now reduce the tempo to a very low value so that you are comfortable to play the pattern. Also the resolution to a 32nd note, which is a value for the snare roll notes. Let's record the pattern. That is done. Now let's change the tempo back to 120 and see how it is. That sounds fine now. Let's go to the third method, removing the snare notes and creating the basic pattern. third method is using the event edit mode. We can add or remove or modify notes here. This is the event edit mode. An event can be a note which we played and recorded, or the pitch bender data, or the aftertouch data if the keyboard has aftertouch. There can also be some special events like meter, tempo, and so on. Each row in this section shows the details of one event. The first column is a position, which shows where exactly the event is positioned. If you look at this one, it shows 001.01.000. That means it is positioned at the starting of the first beat of the first measure. The first session 001 is the measure, and second one 01 is the beat, and the last number is the position within a beat. One beat can be divided into 384 points in this. You can position the event using that value. Second column is a type of event, if it is a note or pitch bend or aftertouch or some special event. Next column shows the name of the note. This will be different for each type of event. The fourth column is the note volume. The last one is the duration of the note. This section here is used for selecting the current track. Apart from the 8 tracks, you can see a special track here called master. I'll explain the use of the master track in another video. Next is go to measure. This is used for jumping to a specific measure if you want. This is insert button. You can insert a new event using this. This is delete. We can delete the selected event using this. This tab here is for filtering the events. If you have different types of events in the same track like pitch bend, aftertouch, note, then you can set the filter to display only the selected type of events in this section. For this method, we need to know where exactly to place the notes. By listening to the pattern, we can identify that the snare roll notes are to be entered at the second half of the second beat, and all the notes should be of equal length. This column shows the position of the notes. You can see here one full beat is divided into 384 points. So to position a note in the middle of the beat, the position value should be 192. So the value 1.2.192 means the note is positioned at the middle of the second beat of the first measure. We know that the snare notes are to start from the middle of the second beat, and there should be 4 equal length notes till the third beat. Since it is a drum note, we don't need to worry about the note length. Just need to position the notes at the correct value. If you divide 192 by 4, one note would be 48 points. So the first note would be positioned on 192, second would be on 240, which is 192 plus 48, and so on. Make sure you have selected the correct track. Select a note here and press the insert button. That will insert the default note after the selected note. Touch the note name and use the data wheel to change the note to the snare. Set the position either using the data wheel or using the keypad by touching it again. Insert 3 more notes and position them, adding 48 points from the previous one. That's ready now. If you want, you can adjust the volume of this note here. It is fine. Now we will see the next one. I'll delete the snare roll notes from here. Next method is using the step record. This will take you to the step record page. You can enter the notes here one by one. As you press the key on the keyboard, the notes will get added here with the settings selected like the duration, velocity, position, etc. If you press a note on the keyboard now, it will insert a note at the starting of the first beat. But we need to enter them from the middle of the second beat. For that we have to insert rest to move the position there. I am selecting a quarter note and inserting a rest. Now selecting an 8th note and inserting a rest. Now the position is at the middle of the second beat. The note duration for the snare is a 30-second note, so I am selecting it from here. I can press the snare note 4 times to enter them. The timing doesn't matter here. So the notes are entered. Let's go back to the main screen to preview it. Press done and select yes to close the page. The pattern is ready. Now we have seen 4 different methods to record a pattern. You can use a method which is easy for you or even mix multiple methods and create it. Now there is a tip for creating fills. You would have seen the fills ending with a symbol note, but there is no symbol at the starting of the fill. I'll show you how to do that with the 1-bar pattern. Start record and insert a symbol note somewhere in the bar. The position doesn't matter. Now go to the event edit and find the symbol node. Press the position and change it to the last possible one. This will now be 2.1.000, which means the first measure of the second bar. We don't actually have a second bar here. So reduce it by 1 point so that it becomes 1.4.383. And now it is within the first bar. Go to the element track controls and preview it. Now the fill stops with the symbol. Let's now record an ending for a smoother stopping pattern. We'll copy the fill to the ending. This is a 1-bar pattern. We need to make it 2 bars. For that, change the CV length and record length to 2 and press the start button. This will duplicate the existing measures to create the new ones. We don't want the notes in the second bar. We'll record new notes there. So we can delete them. You can easily delete the notes from the entire tracks using the delete option here. This will remove the notes from all the tracks or the selected track between the selected positions. We need to delete notes from all tracks in the second bar. Those are gone now. There is another option here, cut. This will remove the measure from the CV length. The delete option will not remove the measure, but it will only remove the notes from the measure. I'll add some guitar and bass notes to the second measurement. Let's create a small intro as well. I'll copy the hi-hat pattern to the third intro element, which is called the count in. Since we only have a hi-hat pattern, I'm selecting to copy only the percussion track. Now the style is ready. We'll preview all the elements now. One more tip. If you need to set different volume levels to the tracks in each element separately, you can do it using the expression knobs. I'm setting different volumes for the tracks here. Select the element and change the value. These are not good balancing, I'm just changing them to show you the feature. Now let's save the style. Now the style is saved. Let's exit from here. Press the record button to exit. Now the style is almost ready. What is pending is to apply the effects to the style tracks. We'll do that in the next video. Thank you.